We've spent the last 2 years training ourselves to talk to artificial intelligence in a very specific way. You type a prompt, you hit enter, and you wait for a block of text to appear on your screen. It's a simple, linear conversation. But that conversation quickly becomes a chore. You have to copy the output, paste it into another app, refine the prompt, and micromanage every tiny revision. Instead of saving time, you become the primary bottleneck in your own workflow, constantly shuttling data back and forth. Look at this workflow timeline. You can move smoothly from an initial idea to generating actual code, but everything grinds to a halt right here in the testing and debugging phase. The AI spits out something that looks functional, but the second you try to execute it, it breaks. We hit what you could call the chatbot ceiling. Faster, analytical, developers have tried to bypass this with open-source autonomous agents, programs designed to complete tasks on their own. But setting them up requires configuring local servers, managing API keys, and constant troubleshooting. For the average user, the technical barrier is simply too high to bother. If we actually want to scale our output, we have to stop treating AI like a smart instruction manual. We need to deploy it as a fully autonomous digital worker, and that is exactly what Perplexity Computer is built to do. Think of Perplexity Computer as an employee that lives entirely in the cloud, requiring absolutely zero local setup. You give it one overarching objective, and it figures out the necessary steps to execute that entire project on its own. The way it manages this is unusual. Instead of forcing a single language model to do everything, it relies on a specialized workforce of 19 different AI models. When you submit a request, it hits a central manager model, Claude 3.5. This node interprets your goal, drafts a master plan, and shatters the request into microtasks. Those smaller tasks are then routed outward to 19 specialized worker models, processing their assigned modules simultaneously. While a human would have to complete step 1 before starting step 2, this parallel architecture tackles all the steps at the exact same time. The research happens while the code is being written and the graphics are being rendered. By removing the human from the loop of handing off tasks, this system automates the coordination layer that usually requires a project manager to oversee multiple specialists. Of course, writing the code is rarely the hardest part of software creation. The phase that actually kills most projects is post-build quality assurance, the endless testing required to make sure the app actually functions. To handle this, the system integrates Playwright. It navigates web browsers, simulating real human behavior, essentially letting the AI pilot the software it built. It opens the application and starts interacting with it exactly like a user would. It clicks the buttons, fills out the form fields, logs into the user accounts, and measures how pages load. When a button inevitably fails or a page crashes, the system doesn't stop and ask you for help. It analyzes the error logs, writes a patch for the broken code, applies the fix, and then instantly runs the Playwright test all over again. Build, test, fix, and ship. The entire traditional development cycle is condensed into a fully closed, invisible loop, executing in the background without needing a single click from you. But an autonomous worker isn't very useful if it's trapped inside a single browser window. It needs to be able to interact with the digital environment you already work in. This is where native connectors come in. You can grant the system secure access to read your inbox in Gmail, pull financial spreadsheets out of Google Drive, and push the final formatted updates directly into your team's Slack channel or a Notion database. You can even schedule this autonomy to recur daily. You can tell the system to wake up every morning at 8 a.m., scrape the web for industry news, compile a briefing doc, and message it to your staff, all before you even sit down at your desk. Combining parallel models, browser-based testing, and native app connectors allows the system to execute and maintain complex business tasks independently. For a long time, there was a massive gap between what an AI could theoretically outline and what a human developer could actually ship. That gap is rapidly closing. For a solo founder, the impact is immediate. One person now has the ability to build, test, and ship custom web applications and internal tools that would typically require a dedicated engineering resource. We are looking at a drastic compression of time. Projects that used to require weeks of manual project management, back and forth emails, and bug hunting can now be handled by autonomous AI execution in minutes. We are seeing a functional shift from AI acting as an assistant you chat with to an engineer that takes a goal and works until the job is done. Mastering these tools allows you to offload the repetitive maintenance and coordination that usually slows down a growing company. If you want to start building an autonomous business today, click the link in the description to connect with Coach BK Han and the AI Hustle Generation.